And given that Wellspring specifically is a program focused on disabled, deaf, and neurodivergent playwrights, I'm interested in and curious about if you'd be willing to share any of the barriers that you have specifically encountered to fit in or be seen as professional writers, some of the disabling barriers that you've reflected on collectively as a group, and how this might be an opportunity to share some of those barriers with organizations so that they can be aware as they're thinking about these transitions and changes, and as an opportunity for them to improve and to dismantle them.
It is really noticeable to me when I have the opportunities to work with organizations or people or within buildings, and the idea of an access rider is something that is spoken about straight from the word go, and also something that continues to be a conversation throughout that relationship, so that if there are any changes or developments, even like in my own understanding of what may be able to support me, it's still like an open dialogue and an open conversation. And when I notice it is there straight from the beginning, it makes such a difference for me to feel like I can have those conversations and feel comfortable to do that. And it's really great when it happens, and it's, you know, it'd be wonderful if it happened even more.
Yeah, I found that really interesting, Gabby, because I was thinking about this earlier, and I think the idea of collaboration from the off is super important, I think, for all artists. I think sometimes there may be an unspoken expectation, not all the time, but sometimes there's some expectation that that you should, if you're brought in, you're going to write about something disability focused. It's like really understandable on the part of the buildings, because you know, within the very large market of freelance artists, what we have for free is a calling card and offer something unique and different, because they're after these fresh new perspectives and voices. They genuinely are.
It's not the job of neurodiverse or disabled people or people of color to educate. We're not there in a tokenistic fashion. It's like, let's bring you in so you can, you know, you can be our sensitivity writer. Let's not bring you in so that you can create an interesting and unique angle to our story. We are not that trite. That's not our job. We're more interested in the concept of access. What Gabby was talking about was access. It's about the concept of the accessibility rider. It's about access for us in difference. It's not then our job to go, oh, let me write an ADHD or a dyspraxic person. Let me write that, and we'll make that person kooky for your entertainment. That's not our job. That's not why we're there. We're there because we are a multifaceted, variegated world of all different types of people, and we have every right to be on that playing field as much as everybody else. Be that about gender, be it about sex, be it about neurodiversity, be it about physical disability or hidden disabilities. We have every right to that playing field. It should be based on whether or not we can bring the goods. We're not there to bring a particular type of goods. That's not why we're there. And I think that's something that we also really need to address. I think it's wonderful that we can use the opportunity to create stories that are bedded in that. And we are the best people to inform. But that's not our sole purpose. And I think that's really important for us to be able to say as well. It's not our sole purpose within the industry, is to the tokenism. We're not here to continue perpetuate tokenism. That's not why we're here. We're here basically because there's a thing such as parity, it's equality. And I can write as well as anybody else, regardless of what my neurodiversity is. And I have as much to offer in an industry beyond the tokenism of of who I am and what I am. And I think that's a really important thing. And I think Gabby was touching on that with the concept of the accessibility rider. Is there to make sure that you're on a level playing field. You're not coming into it to be the person that everyone pats on the head. That's not why we're here. We're here because we're good writers. That's why we're here. And I think that's a really important thing, just to reiterate that point, you know.
And I think just to sort of add on to Gabby and Victoria and Rob, is that access is super important. And when it's when you do have that open conversation and you don't shy away from asking things, or you don't feel like you're putting someone out, because all we've ever felt is that we put people out, you know, like it's always, and then when someone is making that a priority so you could produce the best work, these are the working conditions where you will perform the best, and just the working conditions that you need to be in. And just if you just look at employment rights, right, like which is, you know, when we think about theatre, it's kind of the last place you kind of think about employment rights, but like if you do kind of think of it as a job. I also think I'd also like to add, when when a theatre or a program is truly celebrating the diversity and of their writers, of, you know, different abilities, different backgrounds, and you can see when it is tokenistic, as sort of Victoria described. And I think at the heart of it, I always think about the work that's at risk, the work that doesn't get staged, the stories that we should be seeing the stage. Doesn't have to be about our disabilities or necessarily about our backgrounds and our heritage. It's just the talent that is not being put on stage because there is no access rider. It is not celebrated by the building or the artistic director. It's such a shame for British theatre to be alienated so much talent. And I just always think about the work that's at risk, all the good work, all the amazing stories, all that entertainment, all the laughter and the sadness and the tragedy that could be staged by these artists, that just goes sort of unseen.